What if you took a ruthless killer like Homelander and turned him into a Power Ranger? Well, you'd get something like this. Power Rangers started in Japan, 1975. Shotaro Ishinomori created a manga by the name of Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger that lasted a whopping 2 volumes, but it spiraled into becoming so much more. Toei picked up the series and created it into a media franchise called Super Sentai. And let me tell ya, they started pumping out a piss ton of these shows, all going by different names, but still encapsulating the original essence of Shotaro's work. Super Sentai became so popular, they did a collaboration alongside Marvel's Stan Lee to produce a live-action Spider-Man that did absolutely fucking horrible. Spider-Man! But inspired the Power Rangers that America has today. The first season of Power Rangers ever produced in North America was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but this was actually an adaptation of the 16th Super Sentai series called Kyoto Zentai Zayu Ranger. So pretty much North America has Power Rangers brought over by the Japan's original version, Super Sentai. But now why the fuck did they pick the 16th season of Super Sentai to be the first adaptation to America? Because this shit was badass. In this series, each Power Ranger has abilities based off of cool prehistoric creatures, and they also had a fucking mecha robot made of animals. But back to how did the Spider-Man of Japan, Takuya Yamashiro, inspire the Power Rangers in America we see today? From the poses that he does to a suit that gives the power of a specific creature, the biggest inspiration from Japan's Spider-Man was through a mecha introduced named Leo Pardon. Leo Pardon was the first time mechas were introduced into the series, and it was a huge hit in Japan. This robot went on to inspire later Power Rangers that had the mechas that we see today. Growing up as a little boy in the early 2000s means Power Rangers was my shit. God, I used to have so much fun with these toys. Look at this shit. They were my original superheroes. Cool suits, awesome vehicles, and most importantly, they fought against evil. Okay, whose bright idea was it to make the Black Ranger a black dude? And what, the Yellow Rangers in Asia? The Power Rangers in most media are just a group of teens brought together in hopes of being able to defeat the villains and save the world. But what if it was all a lie? An anime about Power Rangers? I wonder if the story's gonna be any good. I'm sold. Today's the day. Another big event called Sunday Showdown is about to start, where the Rangers will take out the evil army once again. To everyone, the Keepers are celebrities, getting paraded around and admired for their strength, especially the Red Keeper. He gets girls dripping. We get introduced to these two people from the Ranger Force, this fucking dweeb, and yo, hold up, is this female Naruto? And then we meet our main character, getting pushed by these two to join the Ranger Force and become one of the greats. Now this is the floating villain fortress. These villains are known as Dusters, followed by the head of this attack, Tora Tiger, ready to take over the world. But don't worry, the Rangers are finally here. Is this man picking up a boulder and throwing? Oh shit! Yo, is he good? Oh my god! Wait, he turned into a truck. Wait, it's working! Oh, never mind. But this is what the show's true plot starts to reveal. This Duster's name is D. And no, not that kind of D. They're all named by different letters, but today, D had a change of plans from the normal showing. Showing? What do I mean by showing? Let me explain. This villainous army that attacked 13 years ago was wiped out in less than a year by the Dragon Rangers. But humanity still thinks they've been a threat this entire time. Forced to sign an agreement with the Dragons, the villainous army puts on an act every week, being beaten and used as figures in their money-making performances. But today's the day that D has had enough. He is sick of putting up with this act, and as he begins to walk toward them, so how come they get hit with shit like this, but keep on coming back for years on years without being completely wiped out? Because they're fucking immortal. Reminds me a lot of Ajin. Like, this shit is kind of cool. D tries to go against the norm and wants to break free from the cycle of performances. But there's one little problem. These dusters are piss useless. We got this bozo over here cheering for the villains. Garu dreams of shit like this, but it doesn't matter. Racist Red Ranger says, "Your kind don't belong here, boy," and slices D clean in half. As D resurrects, she comes in, and then my D starts to erect. We find out the main character from before is D! Just from that first episode, it got me intrigued into this world and how the story will play out. It's pretty different from most of the other anime I've seen. I just like the idea that these weak-ass little villains just live their life repeating the same stuff, but one day one of them wants to break out of the rat race and experience what the real world has to offer. I haven't read any of the manga, and as of right now, the show is only on episode 4, so whatever I say in this video could be completely wrong, and I could end up thinking this show is actual ass. But I think the idea of taking certain things that usually act out how you would expect them to, and making it the opposite is kind of fun to see play out. For example, scary movies using beloved characters and turning them into killing nightmares. I mean, don't get me wrong, this movie's probably ass, but it's just a fun idea as a whole, and it piques a lot of people's interest. A show that this anime gets referred to a lot is the Amazon Prime show, The Boys. If you somehow haven't seen it, The Boys is set in a world where people have superpowers, but most of them use their powers to their own advantage and greed. The story of The Boys isn't the most intricate and sometimes not really compelling to me, but I can't stop watching because a world like this is just so fun to watch. The first episode has the Black Flash run through the main character's girlfriend. I don't care how boring a story is, this shit was crazy to watch. A little warning though, there are some insane scenes in this show, so if you're not ready to see someone crawl inside of a man's penis and then explode, then I probably wouldn't recommend it to you. A character that is a staple of The Boys is Homelander. He's one of the most intriguing and enjoyable characters to watch in the entire show. A world where there are superheroes, there has to be rules to regulate the difference between the people that have powers and then just the normal human.
I'm better! I am better!
But when you try to restrict and put laws onto a character with the powers of Superman and the temper of a League of Legends player, this is what happens. But Homelander is the #1 hero, and people that don't know of his ways, they all cheer and root for him as if he's their savior. The same way the civilians of Loser Ranger see the Red Ranger as this almighty powerful protector that has their best interest in mind. But deep down, it's all an act to benefit himself and to do as he pleases. I have no clue how this act has been going on for 3 years straight, profiting to the point where the Rangers get headquarters like this, but my boy D isn't going to stand for it much longer. But again, dude is weak as piss. One problem I saw people having with this series is that D doesn't really do anything, I guess, later on. Something about just letting the people around him do most of the work. He doesn't really have powers other than just not being able to die. I don't know how true this is, and I do hope he does something and that we get to see more of this villain group. So far from what we've seen of them, they actually had me laughing a bit with just how absolutely stupid they are. But apparently our immortal sand people can die by some certain method the Rangers know of. And my question is, why does it look this fucking raw? I have no clue what the fuck is happening in this series, but I am looking forward to seeing more. Wait, before you go. Have you seen this anime's outro?